Okay, did it work? I don't know.
Yes,
Anyways,
we are live. We are live. Let's go.
hopefully we are live. This is third broadcast here at Future Tech Ideas. Um, yes, third broadcast. We're talking about current events. So first off, we're going to be talking about police. Hopefully this live stream isn't as aggravating as the stuff before it. And I'm Cole Creeper, as you know, and we got Jason in the stream as well, and Mark Hyder as well. So, Mark, why don't you introduce yourself?
My name's Mark Hyder. I've been YouTube since February, and I've started making vlogs since February, and yesterday's my 100th vlog.
Right on. And Jason?
You can follow me at Jason Guay. I am the owner of Future Tech Ideas. And yeah.
Okay, so let's jump right into it, I guess. And our first topic is on police and more so trigger-happy police. So, Jason, why don't you introduce your
Okay.
story there first?
The story happened like a week ago, I believe, in Florida, Pensacola, Florida. A guy named Roy Middleton. He was shot by police officers. He was unarmed in his driveway, and he was shot by police officers. Let's go ahead and read you. I'll just go ahead and read you this article here. This bizarre story started Saturday around 2:30 a.m. Roy Middleton was returning home from work. He was searching his car for a pack of cigarettes, and next thing you know, he heard someone come up behind him and told him to put his hands up. I guess supposedly that a neighbor called the cops thinking that he was a burglar or a car theft or a car thief, and they called the cops on him, but actually it was his own car at his own house. And so he turned around from the car, put his hands up, and all of a sudden the cops opened fire on him. They shot 15 bullets in his direction, 2 striking him. I guess the bullets mangled his leg, so he is in the hospital. Roy Middleton, he complied with the officers and everything, right? He turned around, he put his hands up like they said, and in the news article, he said Roy Middleton said that he felt like he was in a firing squad and that they didn't let up on the firing until they were out of ammunition. Now, if you're an unarmed man and he's 60 years old, keep in mind he's 60 years old in the car getting cigarettes. Imagine turning around at night meeting a hail of gunfire for no reason at all. You have your hands up, you're complying with orders and all that. There was no reason for the cops to shoot at him. I don't understand why they did that. It's mind-boggling. That's one of the things that happened. So.
Well, first of all, what I want to say on that one is obviously these neighbors don't pay very close attention to what goes on in their neighborhood because you know, I don't know if the guy who called the cops was living beside this man, but I'm sure they've seen him before, you know. And you said he was black?
Yes, he was.
You're right. So that kind of leads you to wonder whether, actually, you know, it's quite obvious that racism is still a problem because, black man must be stealing a car. Like, no. It's his car. So, you know, and they just automatically assume that, he must be stealing a car. And I believe there was actually a story a while back where, I don't remember where it was, but apparently it was something that he did. Anyways, he was stealing a bike, okay?
Yep.
Yeah, white guy does it, okay? No one says a word. Black kid does it. They're all a big crowd, all calling the cops. And white woman does it. They help her steal the bike.
Get this. There was a witness too.
Oh, really? But that really shows the level of racism in certain areas. And obviously, it was probably something along racial profiling to maybe, and it's just speculation, obviously. But it very well could be something like that because the facts that you see there lead you to believe that. But either way, and then when they go to shooting him, how many times did they shoot him?
They got him twice, but they shot at him 15 times.
They shot at him 15 times.
Yep.
Okay. And then they only hit him twice?
Yes, they only hit him twice.
So they're not very good shots to begin with.
No, absolutely not.
Second of all, you know, I really want, like, you know, like these cops, you know. But anyways, so they're not very good shots, and you know, was he posing any danger?
No, well, the thing is,
the cigarettes, they could kill you, but over a long period of time.
See, the officers claimed that he lunged at them. Right. But he really didn't lunge at him because if you're sitting in a Lincoln Town car, it's kind of like a car that you really got to get up out of and kind of, you know.
Yeah, they're big cars.
Yeah, so that's what he did. He's a 60-year-old man trying to get up out of that, low car.
And
so
yeah, they're loaded to the ground too. It's not like it's a truck where you can just jump out the truck.
And so that does not require 15 shots at his direction just to try to get up out of the car and putting his.
Yeah, he probably destroyed his car too. Probably bullet holes everywhere in it.
Well, it hit the house too. Hit the car.
So first of all, they're kind of being reckless because it's a neighborhood. Now, sure, this is in the night, so there probably aren't any kids playing. But what if there was?
Exactly.
These shots could have hit some innocent bystander. Maybe somebody just got home from somewhere. It was late at night, and they get shot for no reason too. So first of all, they're shooting 15 shots, only 2 hit them. That's not a very good shot. So they obviously need to go back. They obviously need to go back to training or whatever, learn how to shoot.
Exactly.
But no, 15 shots seems a little unnecessary, and the 2 that hit him, at least they didn't kill him.
That's one thing.
If he did pose a threat, I understand why they'd shoot him. But 15 times, and no, not even hitting him half the time. How are they just? Oh, we'll shoot you. I'll show you.
The thing I hate about it is that all these officers that shoot at people and have like a hearing or have like a trial and trying to find out if it was deemed necessary to shoot at them, use deadly force. They all get paid administrative leave. Screw that.
They're all paid.
Okay, so are you saying that murderers get paid to kill people?
Yeah, pretty much. The story I'm going to tell you here in a few minutes.
They could have killed somebody, but yet you pay them for killing somebody. You should put them in prison, even though they're a police officer. That doesn't mean they're above the law and can kill and get paid for it.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of stories have shown that they think they're above the law. But the story I'm going to tell you here about in a few minutes, the cop is, of course, not working at the moment.
Oh, that's tragic.
He's not working at the moment. Of course, he's on leave with pay.
Yep.
But no, I don't think that force was necessary. But
what
did they do to his legs? Like, did they blow his kneecap out or something?
He has to have rods in his legs now.
Fuck.
Like metal pins and stuff. I think.
Just for getting cigarettes out of his car.
Yeah.
Now, sure, you can argue, oh well, you shouldn't be smoking, but it isn't a crime.
Oh yeah, exactly.
It's not a crime that needs to be shot at 15 times.
Exactly. Holy cow.
Mark, what do you think of that one there?
What do you think of police brutality?
They said he had a knife or something.
What's that?
According to the news story, he had a knife, didn't drop the knife.
No, he did not have a knife at all.
You might be thinking of a different story.
No, he's thinking of the same. He's thinking of the story. I read it. He did not have a knife. They claimed that he had a metallic object, but the object was not found.
What if there were keys?
Exactly. He was in his car. What if there were keys?
He probably was this an older car? Well, it doesn't really matter. He could have used the keys to open the car. He could have used keys to get back in his house.
And I believe his mother claimed that it was a set of keys that he had, but there was a little flashlight on the keychain or whatever.
Oh,
but
what
if that was it?
Yeah, what if he kept his cigarettes in the glove box? He used his keys to unlock that.
Exactly. I mean, that does not deem life risks.
He's
got a set of keys. He's gonna cut me with that. I better shoot him up 15 times.
Yeah, I understand if the cops really were in danger, that they need to protect themselves. That's totally understandable. But press 15 times and then missing them most of the time, that seems just a little reckless. But if they're in danger, shoot them, taser them. Yeah. But 15 times, that's more like killing him.
There was 2 officers there too. So I mean, a 60-year-old man with two young officers.
Yeah, they should be able to restrain him. The cops, they're generally in good shape.
Absolutely.
So it's not like they're defenseless. They're in good shape. Well, they should be anyways.
Dashboard cams though.
Yeah, well, sometimes the cameras aren't faced the right way. Actually, the police service here in Edmonton's they're starting to roll out cameras that they wear. Huh. So that could help in cases like that.
All right, I seem to be having a technical difficulty. I can't open the toolbox for some reason. Oh well.
Yes.
So you got your article, Cole?
Mark, you have anything else to say on that story though? We didn't give you too much of a chance to talk.
Yeah.
Well, we just need more information from the media.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we provided a whole bunch of links that you could have read. Anyways, okay. So, anyways, my story.
Let me ask Mark Hyder this: what is the police brutality over there? Like, is there a lot of it over there in England? Because he's over in England. I don't know if you guys know that, but yeah, he's over in England. Is there a lot of police brutality over there, or no?
No, because we don't have to carry guns.
Yeah, well, from what I understand, you're right. They have very high gun regulation, but from some of what I've seen, it sounds like they have quite some violent crime there with knives and shit.
Oh yeah, exactly,
So,
knives.
But there's
like, sure, go ahead.
only special officers allowed to have guns.
Right.
You must have orders to shoot.
A lot of people in the U.S. have the argument of, I'm sure Jason's heard it, where if you take the guns away, the bad guys still have the guns, so you're just taking the guns away from the defenseless.
Exactly. There you go. Yep. There you go.
So, like, how are people supposed to protect themselves there? Like, get the broom and just, oh, I'll show you.
Yeah, get a baseball bat. Get a baseball bat. Like I got.
Like, how does that work over there if something were to go wrong? Like, let's say the police are too far away or something, or you're in immediate danger. Like, you just run or something?
Tear gas?
Tear gas? You got cans?
Yeah, we all have that in our closet, don't we?
Well, yeah, do you have that in your pantry? You have that in your pantry, don't you?
I have it under the pillow. But
a bottle of tear gas over there.
That I don't think you can buy here.
Yeah, I don't. You can't buy that here either. Probably like in military.
Yeah, Canada does have stricter gun laws than the U.S.
Yeah.
But so do you find that your gun laws over there are effective?
Yeah.
I don't think you heard me.
Do you find the gun laws over there that are effective, Mark? Are they effective over there, the gun laws?
There's still violent crime, but it doesn't always get reported in the news.
Right.
Oh, okay, yeah, that is true.
There's still weapons available. Knives. You can't ban knives.
No.
But you know what? I really do hate to admit this, but our mayor here in Edmonton a few years ago decided that we ought to ban knives.
Wow. How are you going to cut your steak? How are you going to cut your steak? What are you going to cut your steak
So,
butter
but no, that didn't get very far.
That must be one rare steak then, if you ain't got no knives.
Yeah, it must be
raw.
potato.
You should
mash it down.
Yeah.
You can't have. Sorry, they should say you can't have knives when you're in the street.
Yeah.
They should have some reason to have it.
So you're not allowed to walk around with them, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
So it does sound like you do still have violent crime. It's expected, but it almost seems like it depends whether it's doing anything good or not. Sure, no one's walking around with a gun anymore, well, except for criminals. But there's still knives, and I don't know. They say they have a very high violent crime rate there, from what I know.
Well, yeah, in London and stuff, they probably have a lot of crime there.
Oh, it's a huge city.
Oh, heck yeah.
But then again, if everybody was walking around with a gun,
there you go.
It could be 9 times worse.
Or it could be 9 times less worse because everyone would be able to protect themselves, so they wouldn't try to fight.
So how are the police over there in that part of the world? They good, or they got the same problems as here in North America?
It depends on the police force sometimes.
Right, yeah, the same thing here. It actually depends on the cop, really.
Yeah, that is true. I met a lot of good ones and a lot of bad ones.
Well, there's lots of great cops out there. I'm not going to bash all of them, because there's lots of great cops out there. But moving on to our next topic, I really hope I get this name right. I think it's Sammy Yatim, or Yatim, I don't know. Hopefully I get it right. I don't want to offend anyone on that one. But anyways, a recent police shooting left one young man dead on a Toronto streetcar. Okay, I'm going to try this here. Sammy Yatim, I think, was shot a little after midnight following an alleged altercation with police. Yatim was taken to hospital after he was shot 9 times and then tasered for 6 seconds. According to reports, Yatim did have a knife and ordered everybody off the streetcar when he pulled it out. By the way, he was also 18 at the time of his shooting and death. The family... apparently 5 months before this, his family moved to Toronto, so it's kind of sad there. A video was released that does show it. They show the streetcar, you can see the stop streetcar, and then you can hear the gunshots, and 9 gunshots, and then the sound of a taser for another 6 seconds. And they shot off 9 shots in 13 seconds.
Yeah, I watched the video. I didn't see the taser. I heard the shots and seen the shots.
Apparently you can only hear the taser in an enhanced version.
Ah, there you go. Okay, yeah. Wow.
But apparently, so like I said, they shot 9 times at him in 13 seconds, and then you can hear the taser for another 6 seconds.
Jeez. Yeah, I got
a lot to say on that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the video was released. Now the Toronto police officer who did shoot Yatim has been suspended with pay.
Yeah, there you go. Again, with pay.
Now the Toronto police chief, what's his name? Toronto police chief Blair.
Yep, Blair. Yep, Blair.
Yeah.
Blair. Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to find his first name here. Apparently, I didn't write it down.
Blake Blair. Or...
I'm not quite sure. Oh, Bill Blair. Sorry.
Bill Blair. There you go. I knew it was a B.
I am very aware that the public is very concerned about this tragic event. He went on to say they have every right to be concerned.
Well, no crap, buddy.
Witnesses say that Yatim was alone in the streetcar, but then again, apparently he ordered everybody off it. So, anyways, a security expert and former Toronto police officer studied an enhanced version of the video, which I just mentioned to you there. His name's Ross McLean, and he said it raises serious questions about how police handled the incident. McLean says if they had waited for the officer with the taser to arrive, Yatim might still be alive. So instead of shooting him 9 times and then tasering him, he suggested that they could just have tasered him.
Exactly. That's what I mean. He was in a closed area. He was in a confined area.
Yeah, he wasn't posing any danger to anybody, from what I understand.
Exactly.
There's nobody on the damn streetcar. Now, it goes on here to say, should you be tasering somebody who's already been shot 6 or 9 times and lying on the ground? McLean also says that the video suggests that officers didn't engage the suspect. The key is to communicate and contain the suspect, which he was contained.
Yeah.
But apparently they didn't really communicate with him that well. Basically, all the communication they did have him was this: I dropped the knife, and if you take 1 step in this direction, you're finished. And I understand that too, but I don't know. I'm not an expert on police.
I don't understand the 9 shots and the taser.
Yeah, no. Anyone can understand. He also said here, McLean also said this officer is going to have to explain why he used the level of force he did, and that I totally agree with. Now, personally, I think 9 shots and then being tasered afterwards is just a little overboard. Like 1 shot would probably take you down. 1 or 2 shots, that would probably take you down. But being shot 9 times and then being tasered and then dying in hospital later seems a little excessive now. Sure, he had a knife and
a little extreme for a knife.
Pulling a knife on a streetcar, yeah, he didn't do the right thing there either. But then the police come in. Doesn't sound like there really was much negotiation with him. No, it's just drop the damn knife.
You're gone, buddy.
And then they shoot him 9 times and then taser him. Like, okay, they've already shot him 9 times. He's probably on the ground by now.
Well, listen to this.
You need to taser him now.
Yeah. Listen to this, guys. When the reporter, one of the witnesses said that the police officer shot up into the bus 3 times, and then he paused.
Streetcar.
A streetcar. He paused, and then the guy fell down, and then as he shoots again, he's pointing down at the guy, meaning the guy fell down after 3 shots, and then he puts more rounds in him. That means the guy was already wounded. They could have went in at the 3 shots and took care of it, but he had to do more shots and then a taser as well. So he clearly was overboard. I'd put him in jail. I'd throw him in jail for,
he's probably going to lose his job over this, or maybe it's hard to say.
Well, he's getting paid. He's getting paid for the lawyers right now. He's getting paid. He can sit back and not work and get paid.
Yeah,
and be able to pay
basically
for
on paid vacation. If you want
Exactly,
with that. I'm not sure if anyone's talked to him, and I'm sure they have, and see how it goes. It does sound like a lot of excessive force, though, because he's already on the ground. Like 9 shots is already kind of sounds excessive, but he's already on the ground. He doesn't really pose much of any threat anymore. Like not like he did before. There was nobody on the thing, so he wasn't wasn't able to harm anybody because everybody was already off the streetcar. It wasn't like it was a hostage situation. Then they shoot him 9 times, and then they taser him for another 6 seconds.
God.
Like the taser itself, from what I understand, hurts like hell, and these cops are supposed to know what it feels like as in training. I think they do get tasered. Yeah, in training, they taser them just so they know what it feels like. But 9 shots is excessive, but that should have done the job.
That is insane.
And then, he's already probably losing a lot of blood.
Yeah, 3 shots, and then the 3 shots dropped him. The 3 shots dropped him, and then they went ahead and
he's down. But then they shoot another, a whole bunch of other times. So he's definitely down. He's bleeding, probably not doing good. And then I can't imagine that taser helped too much.
Oh,
his body's already trying to cope with these shots, and I don't know if they went through any internal organs or anything like that. But that taser may have been the last blow. I don't know.
Now, do you know if the 9 shots is what they all hit him, or yeah?
I couldn't find much on that. It may have hit him. It may have missed him.
Yeah, I couldn't either.
Yeah, they may not release that information until the investigation. Because they do. I don't remember what their. They are being investigated right now. It's I don't know, some Toronto's whatever. But anyway, separate entity or whatever I believe is investigating it.
Real quick, guys. Mark and Cole, could you check at the bottom of the chat and just see what it says in there real quick for me?
All right.
Right on, yeah.
All the way at the bottom there.
I'll post it in the chat. Then.
But anyways,
you mean YouTube chat?
But continuing though.
Yep.
So Mark, what do you think on that? Think about that.
You know what? I'm moving to England. It seems like a better place.
But normally it's better before pay, depending further inquiries.
Yes.
They have to investigate first before they.
Yeah, they have to investigate first. Yeah.
Well, I think the police thing. I think it's kind of a worldwide issue.
But I mean, shooting a 18-year-old kid in a bus 9 times and then tasering him after, is that necessary, Mark? Do you think that's necessary? 9 shots and a taser?
No.
18-year-old kid, absolutely not.
No.
I would go a taser, and if the taser doesn't go, then I'd say I'd say 2 shots.
Yeah, 2 shots you should be down, unless you're nuts or something.
Or you can't shoot a gun, obviously, if you can't get him with 2 shots.
Oh yeah, probably something like
And the thing is they shoot. They don't really aim. Like, they don't try to aim the leg or stuff like that. Like, most cops are just firing in there, just going bam,
as
bam,
long as
bam.
it hits them. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as it hits him, even if it's in the head, just because he's trying to kill himself or something like that.
Yeah.
I would go for a taser and then 1 or 2 shots. If they don't hit him, then I'd go for another one if it does.
Yeah, it sounds like there was a lot of they went overboard here.
Unprofessional.
Yeah. Do you hear about this stuff quite often? Yeah, I think police, at least in North America, I think they got a little bit of work to do.
Yeah, they got a lot of work to do.
Unfortunately.
And they're the people that are protecting us. They're the people that are protecting us.
We're supposed to serve and protect.
Yep, serve and protect.
So, Mark, what do you think of that, though?
Pretty crazy stuff, I think.
It's always crazy when these sort of things happen.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, I'm moving to England because it seems like they have no problem over there with that stuff.
I think if you did the research, I think you probably would find issues like that. I think it probably would be more of a worldwide thing, because people are people.
Yeah, people are going to kill no matter what.
Yeah,
but it's not like you hear gunshots all the time.
Yeah. Well, there's some places around here there is a lot of gunshots.
Yeah, I don't hear gunshots all the time here, but we also in Canada we have slightly stricter gun laws here.
Yeah, there's some gunshots quite a bit around here.
They hunters, or are they just shooting to shoot?
Well, both shooting to shoot and shooting to hunt. And the town I live in, is one of those towns that are not on the best side of things. Not good. Good with what do you call it? Low on the pole, I guess you could say, on the top scale.
Yeah, surprising. I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah, like I told you, I wanted to go back with my dad because of the town I live in here. It's pretty crazy.
But I do hear Maine is a nice state, though.
Oh, absolutely, Maine. Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful here. It's beautiful. Like right here in this town is beautiful. It's just the people around here have gotten so down because of the mill that closed down in the town, brought the economy down. And so everyone's on their, everyone's hitting rock bottom basically, and so.
What kind of resources you got in that state?
There's a lot of mills, a lot of logging.
So it's more so logging based.
Yeah, logging, trucking. There's a lot of trucking, egg farms, dairy farms, stuff like that. But yeah, like I said, the town is not really big. There's only one gas station in our town. Yeah, and right now it's closed down for a remodel.
The gas station closed. It's got 300 miles that way. There's a gas station there. If your tank's empty, you can go to the restaurant there. Maybe you can turn it in biodiesel.
Yeah. Make sure we check the comments, though. I totally forgot about that.
Oh, yeah, the comment thing, yeah.
The comment.
Sorry,
yeah,
viewers.
Sorry, you forgot about that. That comment thing down there. Yeah.
Yeah, what is that thing? We do have. Is this James Worley that just commented here? And Erwin is watching. Right on,
Erwin! How's
only seeing Cole, so you guys have to change the screen when you're talking.
I keep changing it.
Yeah, that's it.
Huh.
Yeah, I got a plane. I do see myself. Oh no, it is changing. Never worry about it.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say I was changing it, and everyone was talking.
Right on. Yep.
Let me make sure I got the camera app thing going. Yep, it's good. All right, so we're all done with that topic.
I think so. We spent 39 minutes on it. Although no, we didn't. No, we didn't. We didn't start at 7.
Now there is some topics that I could lead into, but we're going to leave those out because it's going to take a lot longer.
Yeah, there's certain topics I didn't bother putting in the list. I think what we can do is we can come back to this topic next week on police. So if you want to see more on the police, come back next week. Right here at 9 Eastern or 6 p.m. Pacific, and watch us live. And police will be our first topic, so come on down. Anyways, moving on.
Don't forget to send your photos in too. We need those photos for cool photos of the week. Yeah.
Send us them photos. Anyways,
send us them photos.
Moving on to Jeff Bezos. Did I say that right?
Bezos.
Bezos.
Yeah.
I don't know. Either way, the chief executive of Amazon has entered an agreement with the Washington Post to buy it for $250 million. Amazon.com is not involved in this deal. Earlier this year, Bezos made a $5 million investment in the web news publication Business Insider, which I'm sure you've heard of. Bezos says he understands the critical role of the paper plays in the nation's capital, in the U.S., and of course in the rest of the country as a whole. Bezos went on to say that the Post's values wouldn't change. Our duty to the readers will continue to be the heart of the Post, and I am very optimistic about the future. Could this mean the Washington Post could go paperless in the future with this tech giant running owning the company? What do you think, Jason?
I think it's a stupid damn idea to buy it for how much was it? $250 million?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty stupid idea. I mean, he's gonna have to do a lot of work to bring it over to digital and bring it over to internet because a lot of people ain't getting a newspaper nowadays.
No.
I mean, I think he's gonna lose. I think he's gonna lose a lot of money in this. But if you could change it over and make it happen and bring it over to the Amazon and bring it over to like the internet world instead of the newspaper like they were doing for for how long of years? I can't remember. How long
I think so. I'll be back in a second. You and him carry on.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
I'm thirsty.
Yeah, you should have got a drink before you started. But yeah, I think he's gonna be this is gonna be a big failure for him. He's gonna lose a lot of money in this. It was a stupid idea to do this. I definitely would have done it. I probably would have invested in something more. I mean, $250 million, that's a lot of dang money. You could do a lot of, good in the world with $250 million. To buy a flagship newspaper, to do that's not, I'd rather buy something that's already set up for the future, and the future is the internet, the digital realm, not the newspapers and stuff like that. So that's how I feel about it. How do you feel, Mark?
Because it reminds me of Rupert Murdoch sort of thing.
It reminds you of what?
Rupert Murdoch.
Oh, Rupert Murdoch.
He runs some hot papers over here.
You guys still got the newspapers and stuff going on?
But I don't want to come to think you have to pay to use the internet service.
You have to pay to use the internet service?
If you want to watch, there's some news sites they've got stuff online, but you have to pay the subscription to read the news.
Wow, I don't think they have that here. You know what I do? I download Flipboard. That's what I got. I use that all the time. Flipboard.
Things like the Financial Times in the UK, you've got to pay to read their news stories.
On the internet.
Yeah, on the internet. It's not free.
What do they get? Do they send you like a newsletter or like a email or something of the?
You could buy the paper.
Yeah.
Okay, but you can't. If some news sites you have to pay just to read the news stories online.
Yeah, he is right.
I don't think is that here. I don't think we have that here. So.
Yeah, you do.
We do?
Yeah, I think New York Times does it.
But how come I could get New York Times and stuff, like go to the website and stuff and look at
You can
it?
get certain articles.
Huh. Man, I should check that out then. I didn't know about that. So what are you eating there, Cole? Since you're eating in front of the camera, why don't you tell us?
Brownies.
Homemade?
Nope.
Oh, okay. If it ain't homemade, I don't want to hear about it. But yeah, I didn't know about that, man. That's cool. The thing is, though, is he going to be able to transform this big business, this big newspaper flagship business, into a profitable, digital realm? Is he going to be able to bring it to the internet?
You could, I think. Other papers have done it.
I mean, I don't think it's set up now. Like, I think he bought it and it was all set up for the regular newspaper publishing and stuff like that. I don't think it was set up for the internet, Amazon and all that.
How would you make money with a newspaper if you owned one?
Well, how would I do it now? I definitely switch it all over to the internet, but I would not spend $250 million on a business that would take a lot of work.
But the Washington Post isn't some little newspaper.
Yeah, well, yeah, that is true. That is true. But I mean, I'm saying, like, I wouldn't spend money on the Washington Post because it's not set up for. You got to do all that work to get it set up to transfer over to internet and all that stuff, and the Kindles and all the tablets and all that stuff. You got to transform it into digital instead of having it on paper and all the presses, all the newspaper stuff that they use to to make it and distribute it out there. Also, I wonder if it's gonna bring any jobs and stuff in. I wonder if it's gonna have more jobs or less jobs than what would be.
Well, how could you create jobs with that?
Oh, with the digital, yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm wondering if there's going to be a lot of jobs lost because of transferring it over to digital, the newspaper.
If they were to stop printing, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, and think about the deliveries. All the guys going out and delivering the newspapers and stuff. They get paid. That's a job right there.
For sure, yeah.
But it's normally agencies who do the papers.
Well, down when I lived in Florida, actually one of my brother's friends I used to hang out with, he would go and work for the St. Pete Times, and he'd just bring his car to the distributing place, and they'd give him a bag full of papers, and he'd just drive around tossing papers out, making money.
Yeah, actually, I read an ad in the paper a few months ago. It's got a truck. You can deliver papers.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, we don't get papers delivered to our doorsteps anymore.
No?
No. Everything's bought in the shops.
Oh, yeah.
Or even if you have a online service, you still only have to pay a subscription for the service anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder. Hey, how much is it for the New York Times on the internet? Like, how much do you got to pay for that?
Good question. I know. I've seen it in a store here. And
I wonder what's cheaper. If it's cheaper to get a regular newspaper, or if it's more expensive.
Oh, way up here, it isn't. I can't imagine it's really that cheap. Because I've seen one. It was 2 days old in some store. $12 for it, or something like that.
$12 for digital?
No, for the actual paper.
Oh,
I'm sure in the States, in New York, I'm sure it's much cheaper. But
yeah.
let's see here if I can. Yeah, there's a bunch of articles here. You're right. But I'm sure there's a way to. Oh yeah, digital subscribe. Okay, so yeah, you can get NewYorkTimes.com and smartphone apps, some limited access to NYTimes.com, blah blah blah. So your regular rate is $15, but for the first 4 weeks you pay 99 cents.
For how many weeks?
For the first 4.
For the first 4 weeks you pay 99 cents for.
Yeah, and then after that it's 15. And then if you get the website and then tablet apps, it's $20 normally, then 99 cents. 99 cents for in the first 4 weeks, and then for all digital access, it's $35 or 99 cents for the first 4 weeks.
So 99 cents for 4 weeks, that ain't bad at all.
Yeah, and then obviously they up it up to $35.
Yeah.
It's only because it's cheaper. It'd be cheaper because you don't actually have to buy the paper. Use paper resources.
Use the materials. Use the materials and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
And see if there's pricing on home delivery here.
See, guys, this is what I think. I think we're gonna start, worrying about our supplies and the stuff that we need, to keep this planet, going.
Well, tree like wood's a renewable resource, though.
Yeah, it is, but I mean, not everyone replants the trees. Not everyone goes and
it's getting bigger though. It's getting where they do log now. A lot of places are putting new trees. so they can, you know, in 50 years cut those down too.
I believe they started the Amazon. They started replanting in Amazon too. The Amazon.
Yeah.
When they started clearing trees out of there, I believe they started planting more trees back in there. I'm a big believer in that, you know.
Yeah, I think we are hurting the environment. I was seeing on TV apparently some tropical fish are going further north and further south because it's actually too hot on the equator for them.
Oh hell yeah! I think over time we're going to start to see, you know, the government and all these big manufacturers start using less resources, you know.
Except oil companies. So.
Yeah.
Oil's a business.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You know, what else can they do? You know.
There's a lot of money in it too. There's a lot of money. That's why they don't want to.
Oh, for sure.
They don't want to slow down on that.
Could they do something else? Yeah, but they're making money, so they're doing good.
Yeah, they're making money for the subscriptions.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think Washington Post can do that as well.
For sure.
So, you ready for the next one, or are we all done with that topic, or what's up?
Unless you got anything else to say?
No, I just said I think I would have put my money somewhere else. I would put my money somewhere else.
That's why I use Google News.
That's why I use Google News.
I think by a different type of business. Anyways, moving on. The stem cell hamburger. Scientists have been able to create meat in a lab with stem cells from cow, from I believe the shoulder of a cow is where they got it from. And anyways, this is said to be a way of making meat a more sustainable food source as our population grows past 7 billion. It cost $331,400 to develop the burger meat. It was tasted for the first time, and basically they said that there was a few problems with it, such as a lack of fat, but it did feel like a burger according to the tasters. So the question is lab-grown meat actually good for us, or even safe for us? And apparently they added a bunch of stuff to it to make it look like meat, to give it the color of meat. To make it red, so they had to add a bunch of stuff to even make it look like meat.
Oh yeah, really healthy stuff too. It's really good for you. It won't give you cancer. It won't give you tumors or anything like that. You eat it and you'll be good to go. Exactly.
Like, could it be more sustainable? Yeah, but is it really healthy?
So,
It's like GM food.
What's that?
It's like GM food.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
This is actually worse.
It is, because it's like basically all of it is like not real
but
meat.
But if they're using cells from a cow, wouldn't they? I guess the meat would be the same, really, when you think about it. Because it's the same cells, really.
But yeah, it would be the same, but they're adding so much stuff to it that's not really.
Yeah, and because there's an absence of fat, apparently that impacted its taste as well.
It's expensive, though. It's an expensive way of doing things.
Oh, hell yeah, it is. How much was it?
It was only $331,400.
So the question is.
Wouldn't that be a shocker if you seen that on the shelf?
Listen, the question is, will it be beef or not real beef for dinner? That will be the question.
Would you eat it?
Would I eat it?
No.
And listen,
they have to say it on the packaging. They have to say that on the packaging.
Yeah, I would hope so. So would you eat it?
I would eat it. I would eat it only if there was no other food in the world. I would definitely eat that. Like if all the resources, all the food, all the cows and stuff went away, and there was no food for us to eat except for genetically modified, fake food, I guess you could say. Yeah, I would definitely eat it because.
So if you only had that option, it would be. So if you had the option between regular beef and lab-grown beef.
What's
lab-grown beef?
Hang on. They do that sort of thing with corn.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But
that's made with mushrooms.
I personally wouldn't eat it.
No.
Well, would you eat it, Mark?
It looks like they might push the price of the burger.
Yeah.
It might take a very long time before anybody wants to eat it.
It would scare a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people would be like, yeah, I'm not touching that crap, man.
Yeah, and then watch in 20 years they'll be saying, hey, you remember that Labrador burger he made? It gives you cancer.
Yeah.
I told you so.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, you check out our broadcast. We tried to tell you. You didn't listen.
Yeah, you never know. It very well could, because it's the first of its kind, and the first 3 people ate it a few days ago. So.
Yeah, and one of them say it's an unnatural experience. One of them.
Yes, that is correct.
But
so,
listen to this. He claims that the reason why he said that is because he was referring to ketchup.
Yeah, and apparently there's an absence of fat. But apparently none of them would comment on whether it actually tasted like beef or not.
That's because it didn't taste like. It probably tasted like some freaking dead freaking carcass.
Who knows what it tastes like? But I think it probably is using the same cells.
Yeah.
As the actual cow. It might be similar.
It may be similar, but is it better for you? Like, will it give you any?
Well, they're all saying, "No, we shouldn't kill the cows."
Oh.
How many years have we been doing this for?
Exactly. You know how many freaking jobs that'll take out? Holy cow!
It might create some, science jobs.
Yeah, but for the lesser, the less uneducated guys,
Goodbye farmers.
That aren't scientists and stuff like that.
Goodbye farmers.
Goodbye farmers.
I want some proof. It's safe.
Yeah,
it's going to take like 50 years before you get that kind of proof.
I want the president of the United States to eat that for 2 months in a row, and then I'll eat it.
I don't think a burger for 2 months in a row is good for you either way.
Hamburger helper, you got your pasta, you got your...
Tell you what, Jason, you have a Big Mac every day for 2 months. See how you look in 2 months.
Hey, I'll look the same because I got a high metabolism. That's why I'm freaking the size I am.
See, very good for you.
Yeah, I got a high metabolism.
Just ask for the lab-grown one.
Yeah, hey, go through McDonald's. Yes, can I get the lab-grown hamburger, please?
Yeah, and it very well could become a thing, though. In many years, it could be.
Could you see yourself going up to McDonald's and saying that, though?
It'd be strange, but they claim it's going to be a more sustainable source. It's going to be more friendly on the animals, because the animals, humans back in caveman days, were hunters and gatherers, and look at every other animal. They're not looking to be eco-friendly. They eat other animals.
Exactly. I think it would be like for people who are in a big poverty situation where there's a lot less food, where people are starving and stuff like that. I think it would be good for them because they would eat anything. Think about it, if you're starving, you would eat anything, and to have that, it would definitely be good for them because.
Why can't you use it from animal feed then?
It's easy to produce. It's not as easy as raising cattle and doing all that. That's a lot harder.
Yeah. But for $331,000, it still sounds pretty hard.
Well, I wonder how much does it produce though? The $331,000.
I think that was just a one.
I think that's just for the study.
One hamburger?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
One hamburger, $330,000. Imagine seeing that on the menu at McDonald's. Holy God! Get it now, $331,000 hamburger.
Hey, you can get it for $1,000 less if you have it as a meal.
Yeah, get a combo meal. Get a combo meal.
Well, that would be something else, wouldn't it?
Yep.
So we're all in agreement on that one. None of us can eat that.
No, we're not gonna eat it. How about you?
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd like to see. I can't imagine what the future of food is going to look like in 30 years.
I'd want to travel back in time and just live back then because I wouldn't want to eat that food. Because I know it's gonna be pretty scary. A lot of scientific stuff's gonna happen with food.
Gonna have to have your own farm at this rate.
Hey, anybody watch Michio Kaku?
Never heard of that.
You never heard of Dr. Michio Kaku, Professor Dr. Michio Kaku? You never heard of him, the theoretical physicist?
No.
Well, hey, later on I'm going to send you a Twitter tweet about Michio Kaku. He's awesome. You got to check him out.
Right on. So I guess we're done on this topic as well.
Yes.
So moving on, 1 year ago today, NASA's Curiosity rover landed on Mars. The little one-ton robot has done a lot on the red planet since. It has discovered an ancient stream bed and has gathered enough information to lead scientists to believe that Mars could have supported microbial life at one point in time. It is now headed for another point on the planet. It's headed towards Mount Sharp, where in its lower parts of it, it's going to be able to peer into different layers and be able to peer into the past of the planet.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so it's going to be able to see, what the environmental history of the planet was. And
yep.
I'm not entirely sure if it's quite like it is on Earth, because how you can dig down deep enough to have different layers from different time periods, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it's going to be something like that. So maybe they'll be able to eventually actually know if there really was life there.
Yeah, well, they're saying microbial life, so it's not like, life like me or you.
Yeah, I know.
Like
we're talking about bacteria or something.
Yeah, bacteria. But, I mean, they've already found water on the moon, so what else are they going to find on other planets?
Apparently there's water at the caps of Mars, too.
Yeah, that's frozen water, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's supposed to be water just under the surface, too, the frozen water.
Yeah, frozen water, yeah.
So what do you think of that, Mark?
I'm just looking at the news story now.
Yeah.
It reminds me a couple of weeks ago when the rover drew something on the planet as well.
Yeah, apparently it's gonna take a year for it to get to that mountain, though.
Yeah, I seen that. It was like a little track or something that it drew.
Jason.
What's up?
Apparently it's gonna take a year to get there, though.
It's gonna take a year to. Oh God. So
it moves very, very slowly.
So it's been on Mars for 1 year now.
Yeah,
and then
they say the normal lifespan is about 2 years, so it'll probably be there. They say they'll operate it as long as they can. But apparently it's going to make a few stops along the way, but it moves so slowly that it's going to take a year to get there.
Well, yeah, it's a one-ton robot. Actually, it's going to move slowly.
Yeah, but vehicles on the road, there's some vehicles that weigh a ton.
Yeah, but you got to think of the gravity, the terrain.
There's less gravity in Mars.
Yeah, well, the terrain and the conditions and stuff,
Yeah. Like, yeah, I guess 100 miles an hour on bumps and blow it right out.
You'll be flying out into space. But yeah, I think the Curiosity rover is gonna produce some really interesting findings once it does get there. I hope it does.
It could, yeah, especially if it's gonna be able to, because apparently it's gonna be like a lower area that they can get down into.
Yeah,
that too. Yeah. Well, Mars is already pretty cold to begin with.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But they're gonna be able to see different layers in the planet's history, so maybe that could be interesting.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's microbial life everywhere on the planet. They got it in volcanoes. They got it in the coldest places on Earth. They got it in the deepest ocean. So who knows what they're going to find on Mars with the Curiosity rover. So celebrating 1 year on Mars.
I actually took a screenshot of this notification that came up on my phone from CNN. 1 year ago today, it said Curiosity landed on Mars.
Oh, yeah, on August 5th?
Yep, I did that 1 year ago. Wow. But I guess there really isn't too much to say on that.
No, I just thought we'd mention that. It's kind of cool, something science.
So the next topic doesn't really need much explaining, but is listening to audiobooks really the same as reading? Apparently 37% say they listen to audiobooks. What do you think on that one, Jason?
I think absolutely that reading is a lot more educational, or if you want to put it that way. You gain a lot more experience with your vocabulary, with remembering stuff, and also you get more detail. I believe personally, you get more detail when you're reading stuff because you're saying the words, you're picturing it in your mind. When you're listening to it, it's just going by so fast, and you're able to concentrate on other things when you're reading, or when you're listening. When you're listening to stuff, you're looking around. You're not concentrating on what's in front of you or what's being said. You're just looking around and doing other stuff.
Well, when you read, chances are you probably go back to read something, right? In a sentence, right?
Yeah, you go
back in a recording, you have to rewind it, and this is a big pain in the ass. So.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree totally with that.
What about those kid books that comes with the books and the audiobook at the same time? You're reading and you're listening.
Dude,
those kids books, the kid books where you press the button and it plays and talks.
Yeah, or maybe if you're learning a second language type of thing.
So the next page.
I remember doing stuff like that in school.
The pop-up pictures. Do you think that's a good idea? Or not good idea. Would you rather listen to a book or would you rather read a book, Mark?
I like listening to the book, and it makes you less tired.
Yeah.
Some people get very tired when you read the book.
If it's an action book, you'll probably read it like a really good sci-fi fantasy.
If you're trying to read like a novel,
yeah,
you might only get to a couple pages and then you're tired. Listen to audiobook, you can listen a bit more.
I see where he's coming from with that. That one is true, yeah.
I agree with you. I read one of the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, and I got halfway to it, and I'm like, oh god, I'm tired.
Well, if I gave you a textbook and told you to read it, would you be very awake by the time you're done?
There's some books like Shakespeare you wouldn't like to read it, but listening would be okay.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, because it's kind of hard to read Shakespeare, if you know what I mean. If you ever tried reading it, I got a bunch of books, a bunch of writings and plays of Shakespeare. Yeah, I can't wait. That reminds me. I can't wait to get my books. That's gonna be awesome. We'll have an FTI read along. I'll get my books and read them to you live.
But is it easy if you have imagination with audiobooks?
What do you mean?
No, you have more imagination of you were in the book by listening to the book.
Not me. Personally, I get like I feel like I'm like part of the story when I'm reading instead of listening.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, maybe when you're listening to it, maybe it's more like you're listening to the radio or something.
But
exactly. That's how.
But it's something you can go to bed to.
Yeah, it is. But see, I don't want to go to bed or I don't want to try to fall asleep at the end. Like, what if you're like tired and you're dozing off? I want to be alert. I want to know what's happening at all times.
Because chances are you're not going to remember it if you fall asleep to it.
Yeah, I want to be able to be up and sit there and read that sucker all the way to the end and find out what happens. I don't want to sit there and be dozing off and tired and all that and doing other stuff. See, that's what I'm saying. When you're listening to something, you can do other things. You don't have to just sit in one place and hold a book to your face. You go and walk around and do other stuff. You're not really paying attention to what's being said because your mind's occupied in other stuff. It's interesting and it's good for people who are on the run all the time and don't have the time to sit down and read. But I'd rather read a book than listen to it. Personally, my feelings is personally reading a book is better than listening.
Maybe it depends if you're able to read.
Yeah, that is true. That's true. But I'm just saying, it's just one of my opinions where I feel that you could get more into the book when you read it instead of listening to it.
But what about if you had like a TV novel? Would you have that audiobook or the actual book?
A TV
novel. Yeah, but it's like a Doctor Who.
Oh, okay, yeah, like a TV series novel, but a novel? Okay, I get what you're saying, yeah. Actually, I believe Stargate was one. Star Trek was one, too. That was a TV series. That was a book as well. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I never really read Star Trek, so I couldn't tell you if it would be easier listening to Star Trek than reading it. But I know they do have TV series on books that are out there. I never really read any of them.
But is it cheaper to make audiobooks compared to books?
Well, it depends where you put it, though. If you're actually putting it on a CD or a tape or whatever, it might be a little more expensive. But you're just uploading it to a website.
Yeah, but if it's coming,
is that going to cost you much?
If you're buying it from like the App Store, if you're buying it from Apple.
Yeah, well, it depends. Some ebooks are expensive to begin with, so who knows. Like, if they give them the same pricing of songs, maybe it won't be as bad.
But yeah, see, ebooks. There's another thing, ebooks.
It's the same with newspapers. Do you prefer to listen to newspapers or watch the news?
That's a good point there, but
I'd much rather read the newspaper or watch the news. I couldn't listen to the news.
But see, the thing is, are you talking about local newspapers, or are you talking about like the New York Times and stuff like that?
Or any sort of news that is broadcast through text or through audio.
Yeah, I like both, to tell you the truth, because I like to find out stuff that's happening now at that moment. And not all the newspaper doesn't always have up-to-date stuff. Like right then and there.
It's a day old.
Yeah, the news on
TV. At least a day old.
the news on TV has stuff that happens, at that moment. Like if there's a big breaking news alert, they'll alert you. Right on, you can't get that in the newspaper. Like when you're
Or you
reading
can just
all
go to Twitter.
Yeah, or there you go. Or you can just go to Twitter. Yeah, just go to
Or
Twitter,
Google
guys.
News.
Or Google News.
That's news.google.com.
It reminds me of like Chris Perello's getting Audible.
Audible, yeah. They're actually pretty big though. Audible, I believe.
Yeah, so, Audible, yeah.
They've been around a while, I think, so they're doing something right.
Yeah, exactly. They're doing something that
they've got the business so they can stay around.
Yeah. There you go. So we're all done with that one, you reckon?
I think so, but personally, what I would say though, the last thing I do want to say is personally, I do think, at least in my case, I'd much rather read it than listen to it.
Yeah, I think maybe it's because me and you are more of a reader type of person. Maybe it's just a person how they feel or how they their feelings on it.
I think it depends on the person and
you like the right, I like the right. Not everyone else likes the right.
But some people can't read the book if they're traveling.
Yeah, that's true. That's why you take a break and then you pop open that book and start reading.
Yeah, but you can't. I will be able to read the book if I'm on the coach.
You wouldn't? Why?
No, some people get get car sick.
Oh.
Yeah, some people do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not like the whole majority of everyone. I think reading. I've seen a lot of people read on books on planes.
Yeah, but that's a smoother journey on planes.
Oh yeah.
You don't feel the emotion of the plane compared to being on the boat.
You ever get in a plane, Mark?
I've never been on a plane, no.
Oh, it's fun.
I fly planes on Vox PC. Yeah.
So let's wrap this thing. Yeah, he's pilot, isn't he? Let's wrap this thing up with the photo of the week, which is a cat.
Hey, wait, we got deal of the week and cool app of the week.
Yeah, I'll do the photo of the week first.
Oh, okay. Just want to remind you.
I got this one planned out.
Just want to remind you.
So here, hopefully, Jason, is that on screen?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so hopefully our viewers can see that, but that is a cat, and I totally forgot to put that in the thing, so this will work just as well. But here is a cat, I believe, Jason's cat. Jason sent this picture in. But yeah, this is a cat. I think it's a really good picture.
Thank you. I took it with my iPad too.
Really? See, I think the striking thing about it is the blue eyes.
Yeah, I did a lot of editing and enhancement on that.
Yeah,
but he did have like really bright blue eyes like that. I just did a little more.
That's what really grabs it, And I think even the way it's in the picture too.
Yeah. Do you like the light on the light in the background? I turned that on to make it look like it's kind of just a little bit better.
Yeah, I think like part of them maybe a little bright, but then again that's a white patch on it, right?
Yeah, that's a white patch. Right
what do you do about that? But either way, it's a really good picture.
You die there.
You got his arm. It's like he has an arm that rested on something.
Yeah, have you seen my? He did. He had it like that. Yeah.
Have you seen my cat picture?
No, oh yeah, your black cat. Yes, I did.
Yeah. So, anyways, make sure to send in your pictures, and Mark, if you send that to me, I'll put yours on right now if you want. But hopefully, everyone keeps sending your pictures. You can send them to us on Twitter or on Facebook. That's twitter.com/FutureTechIdeas and Facebook.com/FutureTechIdeas. Hope so.
Yes. Hey guys, if you see this posted somewhere, that means send your photos, okay?
And then Mark's got his picture up of his cat, or did.
Okay, you got it up, Mark?
Yeah, I can't unshare the picture.
Oh, I can't see you.
I know, I can't.
Yeah, guys, listen, guys. Before we did this live broadcast, we had a hell of a time with Google Plus, so I do apologize. Everyone's watching out there. I do apologize.
It's working now.
We had one hell of a time with Google Plus.
It's working wonderful now.
Oh, great. Very good.
So, I guess we move on to the deal of the week.
The deal of the week. The deal of the week is a Jawbone Jam Box for $158 with Prime. It's $199 without Prime. If you don't know what the Jambone is, basically it's a wireless Bluetooth speaker. You can get it in black, red, blue, gray, or purple. It connects with your mobile phones, computers, tablets, iPods, or any other Bluetooth device. Seamlessly stream and share music, movies, games, phone, and conference calls anywhere. 2 highly powerful acoustic drivers and ultra-small dome produce a wide audio spectrum, can be updated with apps, software, and new features via Jawbone's MyTalk portal. Up to 10 hours of power from internal rechargeable batteries. Make connections to 2 devices at the same time. USB, micro USB charging only. The stereo input is a 3.5mm jack. It's PC compatible with Windows 7, Vista, XP, Mac OS 10.5, and higher. That is the Jawbone Jambox, $158 with Prime. Also, the battery status is displayed on your iPhone. That's pretty cool. Don't forget to check the links in the description, because I'll post all the links down there for everything that we mentioned today, as well as the articles. So I believe the cool app of the week is next. And the cool app of the week is just in time for Halloween, which is actually a little bit ahead of Halloween. So you've got time to prepare for that. It is the Carve a Pumpkin. It's a free application, iPad and iPhone 4.0 or later. Basically, Carve a Pumpkin is an application that allows you to carve a pumpkin without the danger of knives. So basically, download the application. Try it out, see if you like it. Let me know in the comments below if you've tried it out, and let me know if you've liked it. It's a great application for your kids. If you keep them safe without, chopping your fingers off, because you don't have to worry about any knives.
And sorry to cut you off here, but let them know that Future Tech Ideas sent you.
Yeah, absolutely. Let them know that Future Tech Ideas sent me, and just let them know that's an awesome application. I'll provide the link for the iTunes download in the description below. Once again, that is Carve a Pumpkin. It's a free application. Don't forget, just in time for Halloween.
And you don't have a rotting pumpkin, and you won't be left with a rotting pumpkin afterwards.
Yeah, there you go. You won't be left with a rotting pumpkin.
I believe that is the end of our broadcast, though, right?
Yes, it is. It's
something like that. Anyway, so that is the end of us. Thank you, Mark Hyder, for joining us.
Yes, Mark.
Right on to the UK. It's early morning there, I believe. So, good morning to you.
Yes, good morning, Mark.
And for Jason, it's 2 hours ahead of me, so it's much later in the evening. But thank you, Jason and Mark, for being part of the broadcast.
Hey, thank you guys.
Yeah, well, Jason's always here, so so am I.
Exactly. Hey, I'm the owner.
You can follow Jason at Jason Goyette on Twitter. Mark, you got an odd username. I can never remember. What is it again?
Hyder Potter 4010.
That's YouTube. Hyder Potter for Twitter.
Okay.
There we go. Follow him there. Make sure to follow at Future Tech Ideas as well. You can find us at futuretechideas.com and as well at facebook.com/futuretechideas. You two got any other links you want to mention?
No, you got them all right there, man.
Right on. So you can follow me on Twitter at CK270, and we'll see you right here at 10 p.m. Eastern or 6 p.m. Pacific time.
9 p.m. Eastern. 9 p.m. Eastern.
That's what I said, isn't it?
No, you said 10 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, sorry about that. So you can join us right here next Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern and 6 Pacific. Until next time, I have no idea actually. See you around.
Peace.
Okay, did it work? I don't know.
Yeah,
anyways,
we are live.
Hopefully we are live. This is third broadcast here at Future Tech Ideas. Third broadcast. We're talking about current events. The first off, we're going to be talking about police. Hopefully this live stream isn't as aggravating as it stuff before it. And I'm Cole Creeper, as you know, and we got Jason in the stream as well, and Mark Hyder as well. So, Mark, why don't you introduce yourself?
My name's Mark Hyder. I've been YouTube since February, and I've started making vlogs since February, and yesterday's my 100th vlog.
Right on. And Jason?
You can follow me at Jason Goya. I am the owner of Future Tech Ideas. And yeah.
Okay, so let's jump right into it, I guess. Our first topic is on police, and more so trigger-happy police. So, Jason, why don't you introduce your
okay.
story there first?
The story happened a week ago, I believe, in Florida, Pensacola, Florida. A guy named Roy Middleton. He was shot by police officers. He was unarmed in his driveway, and he was shot by police officers. Let's go ahead and read you. I'll just go ahead and read you this article here. This bizarre story started Saturday around 2:30 a.m. Roy Middleton was returning home from work. He was searching his car for a pack of cigarettes, and Next thing you know, he heard someone come up behind him and told him to put his hands up. I guess supposedly that a neighbor called the cops thinking that he was a burglar or a car theft or car thief, and they called the cops on him, but actually it was his own car at his own house. And so he turned around from the car, put his hands up, and all of a sudden the cops opened fire on him. They shot 15 bullets in his...
Probably something along racial profiling to it. Maybe, and it's just speculation, obviously. But it very well could be something like that, because the facts that you see there lead you to believe that. But either way, and then when they go to shooting him, how many times did they shoot him?
They got him twice, but they shot at him 15 times.
They shot at him 15 times.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they only hit him twice?
Yes, they only hit him twice.
So they're not very good shots to begin with.
No, absolutely not.
Second of all, I really want, these cops, But anyways, so they're not very good shots, and was he posing any danger?
No, well, the thing is...
His cigarettes, well, they could kill you, but over a long period of time.
See, the officers claim that he lunged at them.
Right.
But he really didn't lunge at him, because if you're sitting in a Lincoln Town car, it's kind of like a car that you really got to get up out of and kind of,
Yeah, they're big cars.
Yeah, so that's what he did. He's a 60-year-old man trying to get up out of that, low car.
And so they're low to the ground, too. It's not like it's a truck where you can just jump out the truck.
And so that does not require 15 shots at his direction just to try to get up out of the car and putting his...
Yeah, he probably destroyed his car, too. Probably bullet holes everywhere in it.
It hit the house, too. It hit the car.
So first of all, they're probably kind of being reckless, because it's a neighborhood. Now, sure, this is in the night, so there probably aren't any kids playing. But what if there was?
Exactly.
These shots could have hit some innocent bystander. Maybe somebody just got home from somewhere. It was late at night, and they get shot for no reason too. So first of all, they're shooting 15 shots, only 2 hit them. That's not a very good shot. So they obviously need to go back. They obviously need to go back to training or whatever, learn how to shoot.
Exactly.
But no, 15 shots seems a little unnecessary, and the 2 that hit him, at least it didn't kill him. But if he did pose a threat, I understand why they'd shoot him. But 15 times, and no, not even
direction to striking him. I guess the bullets mangled his leg, so he is in the hospital. Roy Milton, he complied with the officers and everything, right? He turned around, he put his hands up like they said. And in the news article, he said Roy Middleton said that he felt like he was in a firing squad, and that they didn't let up on the firing until they were out of ammunition. Now, if you're an unarmed man and he's 60 years old, keep in mind he's 60 years old in the car getting cigarettes. Imagine turning around at night, meeting a hail of gunfire for no reason at all. You have your hands up, you're complying with orders and all that. There was no reason for the cops to shoot at him. I don't understand why they did that. It's mind-boggling. That's one of the things that happened. So.
Well, first of all, what I want to say on that one is obviously these neighbors don't pay very close attention to what goes on in their neighborhood, because I don't know if the guy who called the cops was living beside this man, but I'm sure they've seen him before, And you said he was black?
Yes, he was.
You're right. So that kind of leads you to wonder whether, actually, it's quite obvious that racism is still a problem, because, black man must be stealing a car. Like, no. It's his car. So, and they just automatically assume that, he must be stealing a car. And I believe there was actually a story a while back where, I remember where it was, but apparently it was something that he did. Anyways, he was stealing a bike, okay?
Yep.
Yeah, white guy does it, okay? No one says a word. Black kid does it. They're all a big crowd, all calling the cops. And white woman does it. They help her steal the bike.
Get this. There was a witness too.
Oh, really? But that really shows the level of racism in certain areas. And obviously, it was probably hitting them half the time. How do they just? We'll shoot you. I'll show you.
The thing I hate about it is that all these officers that shoot at people and have like a hearing or have like a trial and trying to find out if it was deemed necessary to shoot at them, use deadly force, they all get paid administrative leave. Screw that.
They're all paid.
Okay, so are you saying that murderers get paid to kill people?
Yeah, pretty much. The story I'm going to tell you here in a few minutes.
They could have killed somebody, but yet you pay them for for killing somebody, you should put them in prison. Even though they're a police officer, that doesn't mean they're above the law and can kill and get paid for it.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of stories have shown that they think they're above the law. But the story I'm going to tell you here about in a few minutes, the cop is, of course, not working at the moment.
Oh, that's tragic.
He's not working at the moment. Of course, he's on leave with pay.
Yep.
But no, I don't think that force was necessary. But
what
did they do to his legs? Like, did they blow his kneecap out or something?
He has to have rods in his legs now. Like metal pins and stuff, I think.
Just for getting cigarettes out of his car.
Yeah.
Now, sure, you can argue, oh, well, you shouldn't be smoking, but it isn't a crime.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
It's not a crime that needs to be shot at 15 times.
Exactly. Holy cow.
Mark, what do you think of that one there?
What do you think of police brutality?
He said he had a knife or something.
What's that?
According to the news story, he had a knife, didn't drop the knife.
No, he did not have a knife at all.
You might be thinking of a different story.
No, he's thinking of the same. He's thinking of the story. I read it. He did not have a knife. They claimed that he had a metallic object, but the object was not found.
What if there were keys?
Exactly. He was in his car where there were keys.
He probably was this an older car? Well, it doesn't really matter. He could have used the keys to open the car. He could have used keys to get back in his house.
And I believe his mother claimed that it was a set of keys that he had, but there was a little flashlight on the keychain or whatever.
What if
that was it?
Yeah, what if he kept his cigarettes in the glove box? He used his keys to unlock that.
Exactly. I mean, that does not deem life risks. He's got a set of keys. He's gonna cut me with that. I better shoot him up 15 times.
Yeah, I understand if the cops really were in danger, that they need to protect themselves. That's totally understandable. But pressing 15 times and then missing them most of the time, that seems just a little reckless. But if they're in danger, shoot them, taser them. Yeah. But 15 times, that's more like killing him.
There was 2 officers there, too. So, I mean, a 60-year-old man with two young officers.
Yeah, they should be able to restrain him. The cops, they're generally in good shape.
Absolutely.
So it's not like they're defenseless. They're in good shape. They should be anyways.
But that's from cams, though.
Yeah, well, sometimes the cameras aren't, faced the right way. Actually, the police service here in Edmonton is they got starting to roll out cameras that they wear. Huh. So that could help in cases like that.
All right, I seem to be having a technical difficulty. I can't open the toolbox for some reason. Oh well. Yes. So you got your article, Cole?
Mark, you have anything else to say on that story though? We didn't give you too much of a chance to talk.
Yeah.
But we just need more information from the media.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we provided a whole bunch of links that you could have read. Anyways, okay. So, anyways, my story.
Let me ask Mark Hyder this: what is the police brutality over there? Like, is there a lot of it over there in England? Because he's over in England. I don't know if you guys know that, but yeah, he's over in England. Is there a lot of police brutality over there, or no?
No, because we don't have to carry guns.
Yeah, well, from what I understand, you're right.